Hello, my name is Lane Brown. I'm a 19-year-old Christian conservative from Claremore, Oklahoma. And today on the Defining Moments podcast, we talk about all kinds of different things, ranging from the Justice Tour that we launched earlier this month, and my stances on abortion, my stances on my biblical values, and kind of what got me involved and when we got involved. And this podcast is something that people don't get to see this side of me, and so it's very eye-opening and very I love that I got to sit down and talk about this and talk about myself, because a lot of people, lots of misconceptions about me. So we talk about all kinds of different things, and I hope you guys enjoy this podcast.
Welcome back to the Defining Moments podcast, where this episode is powered by Freedom and sponsored by our great friends M&D Drilling out of Waller, Texas. Today's very special guest, he is the campaign CEO, grassroots movement of the Justice Tour, Mr. Lane Brown. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm great, man. How about you, bro? More importantly.
No, I'm doing fantastic. I mean, it has been a busy 2 months, busy 2 months, and especially after, Charlie was brutally murdered, it's been super busy. So
Yeah.
That lit a different fire down inside my soul that I did not know that I had. And so after he was brutally murdered and we all watched it on social media, I was like, there's these people out here who have said some vile stuff on social media after his death, and they need to be held accountable.
Yeah.
So that's what the Justice Tour is all about.
Okay. So the Justice Tour is about, you're not avenging anything. You just want to get your word and your message out on how we can combat the negative messages.
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
So when I launched the Justice Tours, I was actually sitting in an office with a friend, and I said, there's these guys going around college campuses right now. It's called the Fearless Tour, and they have raised thousands of dollars, and they were actually assaulted to get off a campus in Tennessee. I don't know if you saw that on social media or
I've
not.
heard about it, yes.
And they were on Fox News and everything, and I'm like, we have the same problems going on in Oklahoma that a lot of people don't know about. We have people in public office who have said some vile stuff about someone who was courageous, who took time out of his day to not only spread the gospel, but also spread the conservative message to my generation. And so when we started kind of seeing these things go around on social media, I, noticed that Tulsa County Public Defender, Chance Bennett, had said some stuff on social media. And we basically, said that it was good that he was brutally murdered, and Libs of TikTok picked it up, and then I kind of posted about it and went up to the Tulsa County Public Defender's office one day, and they were closed. They closed their doors for the day. So I went back the next day. We made a little video saying they were closed, posted their their number, their email, and I think about a week later we got the news that she was fired. Well, she was no longer employed. That's what they said. And so we filed some open records requests because they never communicated what was going on, and so they we're still waiting on those. They actually denied it, and so I submitted a 10-day letter of my intention to sue them because they violated the Oklahoma Open Records Act. They said they weren't a public body, but the Tulsa County Public Defender's Office is funded by the taxpayers, so you're a public body. You're not excluded from the Open Records Act. And so they were very hostile the first time we went up there, but now ever since they've been super respectful and nice, and that's all we need when we're trying to find information out. We want to be transparent. Just be respectful and nice. Like, it's not hard.
Yeah. Yeah, so speaking of being respectful and nice, I've been following you for quite a while, and lately I've kind of read a bunch of comments, whether it's on Facebook or on Twitter. There's a lot of negativity, and I'll get to those comments and the original post and the comments in a little bit. But my question to you, man, how do you deal with negativity? You're only 19 years old, and so at 19 years old, you got a lot of adrenaline, you got a lot of emotions going. I say that because I was once your age. But how do you deal with negativity?
Yeah, so negativity is not the worst part about doing this. Someone told me when I first got started, don't look at the comments, because when you look at the comments, that's how you get down on yourself. People will say stuff to bring you down, and so what's funny is I told my friend Grady, who goes around with me everywhere, is I said, I'm going to give you my Twitter login, but don't look at the notifications. I said, we're not going to look at the notifications. I don't even look at them. If I reply to someone, I go back to the post and I look at it, but I don't go back and look at my posts. I kind of, I respond to the first couple, and then I kind of disappear because people will say vile stuff to get you to shut up or just, stop what you're doing. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, the negativity's hard, especially at 19. But there's a lot worse things that could be going on in my life, and I'm happy that that's the only thing that I can look at and, be negativity. It's important because I know that I have Jesus on my side no matter what I do in life. And so those people who obviously are far away from Christ, and I would love to pull them in and bring them in, but when I know that I have Jesus on my side, I know that, no matter what those people say, I'm good.
Yeah. Okay. So you started getting heavily more into this type of atmosphere when 15, 16 years old? Is that what you said?
Yeah. So 16 is when
Okay.
me and Grady actually attended our first public rally, which was Governor Kevin Stitt's reelection campaign rally in Tulsa, Oklahoma with Governor Glenn Youngkin from Virginia.
Okay.
And Superintendent Ryan Walters, who obviously now isn't superintendent anymore, but we were heavily involved, or we started getting heavily involved at 16. We went to that, and we were like, dang, we like this. This is important. Like, we're 16, and we're the youngest people in this room.
Yeah.
And so we started knocking doors for candidates in the Tulsa area, especially the Tulsa School Board, because they were just, bad with what was going on there, and the kids and on the F list and graduating kids who couldn't read, and we were like, we got to get somebody else in there. So we door knocked heavily in a bad part of Tulsa for a candidate, actually. And it was I'm not gonna lie, at 16 years old, it was scary walking up to doors wondering if someone was gonna come out with a gun or not. and so it was an experience, and gladly do it again for the right cause.
Yeah.
And informing people who don't know what's going on is also very important. So we took the stance that at 16, I'd always been, interested in politics. I don't tell the story a lot, but my pawpaw, who is now deceased, but passed away when I was in the upper elementary. He passed away, had a heart attack at our home, but he was very influential in my life, and we would watch the news and sit and drink coffee every single morning. We'd be the first people up at 5 a.m. watching the news together.
Yeah.
So he was very influential on my life, and so he just, watching the news with him, wondering like what in the world is going on. So I always had interest in kind of what was going on in our world, but definitely when I was 16, it truly, motivated me when I was able to drive.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's where the motivation came from. Yeah.
When you go to knock doors when you're 16 years old, let's take a situation. Was anyone ever negative with you? It's like, hey man, get off my lawn.
No, so we actually didn't run into any negativity
Okay.
whatsoever. So it was weird because we were walking with an adult, obviously, because we were 16.
Sure.
And we were like, we're not walking by ourselves in the bad part of Tulsa.
Right.
But no one was negative. I mean, I've never ran into anyone negative. I've never ran into anyone saying, get off my lawn. You don't belong here. Nothing like that. Normally everyone just says okay and takes the literature, or they say I'm not interested. And then there's always those super nice ones that want to have a 10-minute conversation with you, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And so, but no, I've never ran into negativity at the door.
Yeah. Did you ever make it into someone's living room, sit down and chat with them about why you're doing it and who the candidate is?
No.
No?
Never made it that far.
Okay. Maybe when you start running on your own.
Yeah. Maybe when I start running on my own, I think people will be like, yeah, come on in.
So who were you knocking doors for? Was it Governor Stitt?
So it was Jared Buswell,
Okay.
school board candidate, and then we knocked doors for Shelley Gorton, who ran for state senate. She didn't win.
Okay.
And then we just I helped Deborah. I don't remember her last name. She's mayor of Claremore, which is where I'm from, and now she's running for state house. But I helped her knock doors in Claremore.
Yeah.
And then there's just been a couple of other State Question 820, the recreational cannabis.
Oh yeah.
Heavily knocked doors against that.
Yeah.
And was very proud of our efforts on defeating that. So yeah,
Oh yeah.
I heavily knocked doors for that. I was like, no way that this can happen.
Yeah. Yeah, that one got squashed pretty
Yeah,
quick.
easily.
Yeah.
And so
So have you met Governor Stitt?
I have met Governor Stitt.
Yeah.
Yeah, met Governor Stitt multiple times. I was there for the grocery tax signing.
Okay.
I've been up there multiple times actually, just for different bill signings. I actually got to stand behind him in the grocery tax signing. So yeah, I met Governor Stitt. I like him. He's nice.
Yeah. What's a politician you wish you could meet to shake his or her hand?
Shoot, I would really love to just meet JD Vance. I think.
Yeah.
I know he's our vice president, but he's young,
Mm-hmm.
and it's, like, it's motivational to know that someone that young is our vice president of the United States of America, the greatest country on earth, and he's the vice president, and he's
Yeah.
young, and so it's very influential. It's very very glad to see that someone that is not 60 plus years old is our vice president.
Love it, man. Hey, what does the American flag mean to you?
American flag means freedom.
Mm.
It means a lot, actually. I think that it says a lot about our country. We fought for that flag. We had troops go over, seas and die for that flag. My papa was actually in the military, drove a tank. My dad never was deployed, but was in the Army. And so I've had people in my family who served, and so it just means a lot. It represents our nation as a whole. It represents our country, bravery, courageous, we're united. We are, obviously, we allow all different kinds of cultures, and I think that's what truly shapes America. And so it means a lot.
Yeah. Where do you think the culture of Oklahomans is?
I think it depends on how you, I guess, look at it.
Yeah.
Because, you got Tulsa and Oklahoma City. In Tulsa this week, we kind of just, there was a pride show, and there was kids there. And how I was raised in terms of, culture is, we love Jesus. We go to school. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
No, sir. No, ma'am.
Sure.
And all this other stuff. And then we have these people that are, bringing kids to, shows that have nudity or close to nudity. You're not allowed to go into a strip club until you're 18. So why are we doing it on the street? And so I think that just the culture of Oklahoma today is very different than what it was when I was 16 years old or prior to that. We have a lot of different cultures here between Oklahoma City and Tulsa. Obviously, you have your farmers and ranchers out where I live, and then you just have your inner city people who are it's just different. I don't even know. I don't know how you would explain the culture in Oklahoma today.
Yeah. Would you agree that the culture of Oklahomans as a state is a giving, more of a warm culture versus a divided culture in cities and inner cities?
Absolutely,
Okay.
yeah. I think the Oklahoma standard's real.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that this is a state where you can come and grow a business and people love you.
Right.
And you have some businesses yourself. And so, yeah, I would say it's a very welcoming, giving, warm state, yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. So today is Charlie Kirk's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And what did Charlie Kirk mean to you? How did he get you so motivated to do what you're doing right now?
Right, so I never went to a TPUSA event. I didn't have a chapter, but I followed Charlie closely on social media. I watched his shows, and the way that he just lived his life free, knew
Mm-hmm.
where he was going to go if he died, and never let anyone deter what he believed in.
Yeah.
And I think that everyone can take a lesson from that. I've had multiple people tell me, why are you doing this? You can't say stuff like that on social media. That's bad. That's going to come back to bite you. But what I believe is what I say on social media is what I'm going to tell you in public. I'm not afraid to, I'm not two-sided. And so what he truly meant to me was very influential on my life. I mean, just from, spreading the word of Jesus, being conservative, but also, like, being respectful in a way, and I think everyone can take a playbook or take a play from his playbook on if we disagree.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to disagree on stuff. We're Americans, but you don't have to be rude about it. You don't have to be disrespectful. You don't have to be negative. And so when he was murdered, it showed, like, if they could do it to him, they could do it to any of us that speak out. And so, and the way he loved his kids and his wife, that's very important to me. You know, that family is very important, because I think you have a strong family, you're going to raise strong kids.
Yeah.
And when you raise strong kids, you're helping society.
Yeah.
And so the way that he loved his wife, but also had a centered relationship with Christ in his marriage with his wife and kids was different to see in today's world. And so that's how I hope to live my life, is have a centered relationship with Christ, with, you know, a wife one day and kids.
Yeah.
And so he was just very influential. Yeah.
Yeah. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years. So we're actually in the talks right now. By the time we probably have this podcast out, we'll hopefully be on the ground running for county commissioner in Rogers County.
Okay.
I think I told you about that.
Yeah.
And so the guy that has been in that seat's been there since the 90s, before I was born.
Okay.
And he's finally, he's given it up. He's retiring.
Okay.
And so I've had a couple people ask me, like, hey, would this be something that you're interested in? I said, well, I'd have to look into it. Like, it's a county commissioner race. Like, what could I possibly do that's going to change? Because I feel like what I'm doing now is making change. And I'm making change this way. And so in 5 years, it's a roller coaster. I could be, you know, I worked for Walters' office, so I could be there in 5 years. Or I could be working for an office in 5 years. Or I could be a county commissioner in 5 years. But at the end of the day, in 5 years, I want to still be making change for the better of Oklahoma, because that's important. I'm 19, so I've got a lot of life left in me, a lot of energy.
Yeah.
And so do my friends. And so I just want to continue making change in Oklahoma. That's what I want in 5 years, and that's where I want to be in 5 years, is, you know, whether that is me at a regular job, a regular 9-to-5 job in 5 years, and I'm making change by spreading the gospel, or, you know, changing people's lives in different ways. And, you know, that's where I want to be in 5 years.
Yeah. Do you think you can grow the Justice Tour into something huge?
So that's our plan. So
Okay.
we have kind of hinted at the Justice Tour. We've kind of have, you know, posted a little bit about it on social media. But I think the Justice Tour, it serves just a different purpose outside of what anyone else is doing. It brings literal justice to small local governments who think that they don't have to listen to the ordinary person that lives in their city. From what I've seen, just going from state or from city to city, just simply asking for open records requests gets people, like, literally in the city government fired up, and they try every roadblock they can to they never have someone on duty to take the record request, which they're by law required to. A custodian of records, they never have someone like that. And so I think that just making the Justice Tour bigger and kind of just putting it out there that, you know, if you're going to break the law, we're going to come and we're going to make you follow the law. Because because you're a town of 1,000 people doesn't mean that you get to operate your governmentally, or doesn't mean you get to operate your government different than Tulsa has to operate their government, or Oklahoma City. And so there's a lot of corruption in small towns, and so that's what we're kind of hoping to bring light to, is if we can fix like, everyone always says it starts at your local government, and that's the truth.
I agree.
That's the truth. And local government elections and local governments are very important. And so if we can bring change at the local level, we can bring change at the state level, and then hopefully the national level one day.
Okay. What are a couple questions you wish people would ask Lane Brown, but no one ever asked Lane Brown?
Well, I think kind of just like my story, we already kind of covered that, but everyone just immediately attacks me for what I believe conservatively, my views in politics, what I say on social media. But those people have never met me. Those people don't know who I am. They just see what I post on social media. Yeah, I post some stuff that gets people riled up. And so and what I post is what I believe. I don't just post it because, oh, it's going to make, so and so mad today. Let's post this. And so I I don't know what questions I would like, I'd never thought about that before.
Yeah. A lot of people don't.
Yeah. I've never thought about that before.
So you've been to the Norman City Council meeting
Uh-huh.
a few weeks ago.
Hmm.
What was that like, and why did you show up?
Correct. So it was different. I'd been to city council meetings before, but nothing like this one. Nothing where the tension was high. So I went there because Bree Montoya, who was a city councilor, actually told someone in a Facebook comment, to a Trump supporter, to put a gun in their mouth and pull the trigger.
Mm.
And I said it happened 3 months prior than to us showing up to the city council meeting. And so I was like, this got swept under the rug for 3 months. No one said anything. Libs of TikTok posted it when it happened, but 3 months, nothing happened. Someone had sent it to me on Facebook. And I said, whoa, that's bad. Like, why are we, the public official, telling a citizen to basically kill themselves? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
And so I posted a video on social media, on Facebook and on X, kind of saying that this was disgusting and that we'd be down there on Tuesday, the next city council meeting. We showed up, and Bree, the post went viral again. And I posted her office's cell phone number and her email so that people could email and let them know how they felt. Because I believe pressure works.
Mm.
And so the first 10 minutes of the city council meeting, she says a speech and resigns and walks out and leaves. And I had a whole laundry list of things to say to her. And probably good that she resigned and left, because what I was going to say to her probably wasn't what, Christian like that I would want to be like. Because there was a different kind of anger down inside of me. Like, you're a public official. We just had a popular conservative influencer murdered brutally on a college campus, and you're telling someone to kill themselves, and suicide's legit. Like,
Yeah.
I had a friend, not in high school, but I think upper elementary, and he killed himself. And so we went to school together. We played sports together. And so, like, suicide's legit. It's not, something to joke about or
Right.
say on social media or wish that on someone. And so when she said that, I was like, I got to go down here. We have to go down here. It's a Monday. We're going down there on a Tuesday. We're leaving the next day. We're going no matter what. I don't care what. Cancel everything. And so we went down there, and then the same time that I'm there, I find out that Helen Grant, who's also a city councilor, made comments about Charlie Kirk's death, said that it was the cog of the death machine. He was a grifting narcissist, irony, all that other stuff. And so I made my speech about her, and how it wasn't fair to the citizens of Norman that this was swept under the rug for 3 months and no one said anything.
Mm.
No one said anything about Bree. And so I called out Mayor Holman, and I said, this is cowardly. Like, you have city councilors, you're like the CEO of this city council, and they're saying gross stuff on social media, and you're not saying anything. No statement put out, no one said anything. So Bree's thing was swept under the rug, and she ended up resigning. And then I posted what Helen Grant said. That blew up. And then I posted my speech about Norman. That blew up. And then now we've just got a whole bunch of people who are like, I'm going to be there for this meeting. So when you guys are watching this, today's Tuesday, October 14th. So today is the day of the city council meeting.
Right.
And so, yeah, I mean, Norman is different. This is my first time to Norman, actually, last Tuesday. And, I mean, I got called an out-of-towner by a city councilor. Said that he didn't like how I, went after Mr. Norman, which was the mayor. And then just got told that I was there for the clicks and the follows and the views, and that's what the mayor actually told me. Or he didn't tell me that, but that's what he said in his speech in the conclusion of the city council meeting, which wasn't true. We were down there to bring awareness. Like, I could care if one person liked my post, I would still do it.
Yeah.
Like,
For sure.
it does not matter if one person viewed my post. I could care less.
Yeah.
And so all I cared about was bringing accountability and transparency of what was going on in Norman City Council, because there's a lot of stuff obviously going on, and I had so many people telling me that they had all this information, that they've been trying to get people to come down here and bring accountability. And there's actually a group in Norman that does the journalism stuff, and they have brought so much stuff to light in Norman, and they have been for years. Just no one ever caught on, and I'm glad that I did.
Yeah.
Because we live in a world where if you're going to do stuff or say stuff on social media, it's there forever, no matter what.
Sure.
And
Someone
so-
screenshots it and
Absolutely.
it goes viral,
That-
right?
And that's what I said at the beginning of this podcast. I don't, what I say on social media is what I'm going to say in public, so
Yeah.
screenshot it all you want.
Yeah, for sure. No, I feel the same way. I feel the same energy because I'm the same way.
Uh-huh.
Whatever I post is who I am in person, and you may or may not like it, and I'm good with it.
Yep.
Because I'm strong in my conviction. I know where I'm going. I know who I am and who I represent. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
right on, man.
Yeah.
Hey, so I got some swag for you, bro, and your homies.
Sweet.
Fresh off the press, man.
These are sick. I think I saw a picture of you in this.
Yep.
Yeah.
I bought myself one.
Yeah, these are awesome. Thank
Yeah.
you, dude.
So for one for you and one for your boys.
Awesome.
And this is for you, man. And this is also for you.
Thanks, dude. Yeah, these are undefeated. I love that. Level up. Yeah, I drink coffee. That's a good deal.
Oh, you're an early riser too.
Yeah,
I
I'm
noticed.
Yeah. I'm up early, and I'll be watching the news early morning, and my brother or my mom will wake up and be like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, well, you don't start the day waking up at when the sun rises. You start the day by waking up before the sun rises.
I like it, man.
And so, thank you, dude. Those are sweet.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
How do you start your morning? Cup of coffee,
uh-huh.
little conversation with your mom and dad, or your mom is like, "Hey, man, why are you waking up so late, mom?"
I start the morning with a cup of coffee. Now sometimes I get the motivation to go run around Claremore Lake.
Okay.
Run a couple miles, and then I read my Bible every morning.
Awesome.
And then watch a little bit of the news, kind of catch up what's going on in the area. I try not to watch too much of that because there's so much negativity going on. I feel like every time I watch news, someone was murdered or something bad happened. So I try not to really watch that stuff. But yeah, that's how I start my mornings. And this past week, last week was probably one of my most unmotivational weeks. I didn't run as much.
Okay.
And I was like, I got to get back after it. So I used to love pop soda.
Yeah.
That was so hard to get off of, but slowly getting off of it. Sweet tea's hard, so.
So how do you take your coffee then? Do you drink straight
So
black?
no, so I black coffee mixed with some hazelnut creamer.
Okay.
I love that. That's my favorite.
Okay.
And so people call me weird and say, that's just my papa used to make. He would do black coffee with French vanilla. He would drink straight black.
Yeah.
But they always had creamer because I would never drink straight black because I hated it. So we'd always watch the news, and I would drink my French vanilla coffee, and he would drink his black coffee. And we'd sit there thinking, what in the world's going on in the world?
Gotcha.
So,
That's
yeah.
cool, man.
Yeah.
I was wondering because you drink Cokes and you're about to get off Cokes and you drink sweet tea, so it would have surprised me if you'd have drank coffee straight black. So it makes sense.
Yeah. It's so sweet tea's the hardest. That's the one that I found out is the hardest. Like, I go somewhere and eat, and I'm like, water, no, actually sweet tea.
Wow. Okay.
So, but no, those are the hardest to get off of. I don't recommend starting if you haven't started.
Okay. We'll stay on the food subject, man. What's your favorite food?
Yeah, so I like meat. Like meat. My favorite food is probably I eat a lot of Mexican food.
Okay.
My favorite dish at a Mexican restaurant, and I could eat it every single day of my life, is chicken and rice with no veggies.
Okay.
Just the rice, queso, and chicken. And I could eat that every day of my life. It's the most white thing that you can do, but but I love it, and I could eat it every day. And I go to one Mexican restaurant in Claremore, and they know my order. They don't even ask it, and they know me by name. And so yeah, it's something that I could eat every day.
That's awesome. White. They don't call you, "Hey, the widow's here. Let's get them this queso and rice
absolutely.
and chicken."
I they know me so much. They give me a free queso.
That's awesome.
And so people will go with me, to go eat there with me, and they'll bring me out a free queso, and they'll look at me like I'm crazy. They were like, "How'd you get that for free?"
Yeah.
Like, I live here.
Man, so real quick, I'll tell you the story is I went to a Thai restaurant with a couple of my friends,
Mm-hmm.
and every time we go, they're like, "Hey man, what's good here, Wong?" I was like, "Bro, I'm not Thai, man. I'm American. I was born here, but I'm also Vietnamese. So, but this
Yeah.
is the wrong Asian."
Yeah.
And I've even had people where they're like, they thought I worked there. It's like,
Uh-huh.
"Hey, can I get some X, Y, and Z?" I'm like, "No, man, I don't work here." But it's cool, man. I just blow it off.
Yeah, no, there was that's funny that you brought up that about not working here. I actually went to Target today before we came here, and I was looking for a certain tie, but they didn't have any, and I thought this dude was a worker. He was dressed up just like one, without the red Target thing.
Yeah.
He had the earpiece in his ear, and I said, "Hey, man, where's your guys' ties at?" And he looked at me like I was so stupid. He was like, "I actually don't work here." I was like, "Oh, really?" I was like, "How embarrassing."
Was he in a red shirt and khakis?
No, he had a gray like collar thing on, and he had like an earpiece. I was like, this dude, and he had keys hanging from his pants. I was like, this dude has to be a worker. He was not, and so it was very embarrassing. But he was very rude about the fact that I thought he was a worker.
Oh man. You said you like to eat meats. What kind of meats do you like? Do you like smoked meats or
Yeah,
grilled meats?
yeah, smoked. So I loved pulled pork and especially smoked meat.
Okay.
I could eat that all the time. We ate a lot of steak growing up, obviously.
Yeah.
And so I just like literally like any meat is good.
Well, you're in luck, man. I got the Asian smoke show going, so after this, we'll have to have some smoked
Yeah.
ribs.
Yeah, no, I see what the food that you be making all the time. I'm like, I'm jealous.
What about pineapple? Does it belong on pizza?
Absolutely not.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, no, I'm a pepperoni pizza guy. That's it.
Simple.
Yeah, simple.
White dude, simple.
Yeah, simple white dude pizza. Simple white dude
Oh
pizza.
man.
Yeah.
Sports? What kind of sports?
So I played basketball in high school. Played basketball 4 years.
Okay.
Me and Grady actually played basketball together. We were both on the same high school team. Love the Green Bay Packers. They're my favorite NFL team. All I wish for is a Super Bowl in my lifetime that I can actually watch. I think they won in 2012 or 11. I think so. But I was 4 or 5.
Yeah.
I wasn't old enough to remember that. So all I do is hope and pray that one day that we win a Super Bowl in my lifetime. I like the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Okay.
Favorite basketball team. But those are the only two sports that I really watch. I don't watch, hockey's fun to watch in person, not on the screen. Baseball's boring. Softball's boring. Soccer's boring. All that stuff boring.
That's fantastic.
Golf is boring. So, I mean, the only thing golf that I've ever watched in my life was, an edit of Tiger Woods on social media of him golfing. Like that's it. I don't go out of my way to watch golf, baseball, softball, any of that stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I don't want to bore the listeners with what you think is boring. So I'm going to pop my phone open. I never do this on a podcast, but I'm going to do it because I'm going to read through your tweet and I'm going to read through the comments. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
And there's a Q&A because I think there's a lot of questions that people want to know if you will answer them on the podcast.
Yeah. I think there was one guy that said that I wouldn't.
Yeah. This is going to be good, man. I can't wait. All right, so obviously you're here. We're not going to read that one. Let's start with this is Lane Brown one day ago. I'm currently investigating how the at City of Tulsa Gov and at Tulsa Police violated Title 21, Section 1024.6 of the Oklahoma statutes. Performing drag shows in the presence of minor is illegal in Oklahoma. The law must be enforced. TPD has some questions to answer. And there's like 97 comments. And I'm not going to read them all. Someone says, Tulsa's not going to end up liking you, man. What do you think?
I don't care.
Yep, that's what you said, pretty much. Let's see. Oh, man.
Some of them you can't even say on the podcast. That's how crazy they are.
Yeah. Let's see. Let me find one that's really good. let's see here. I mean, there's some that are. I mean, there's quite a few that are all for you, right? So I can't read this one. Oh man, this is too good. This is too good. Oh my gosh. All right. Oh man.
While you're looking, I'll tell you a funny one that I saw.
Yeah,
I don't normally reply to any of those,
I
especially
noticed.
the negative ones. I just leave them alone. I let them, say whatever they want. There was actually one that I replied to. I posted something, and the guy was like, "I hope you run out of gas in North Tulsa." And it was hilarious because North Tulsa is the bad part of Tulsa.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like the part with all the crime.
Oh, I got you. Wow.
And that was one of the ones that I responded to. I responded laughing emojis. I was like, "This is the best one that you've ever commented on my post." And he's commented several. And so,
Here's one from a James_texter. Bro is projecting so hard now that his daddy, Lion Ryan, left him high and dry.
that like I said, I worked for Walters' office as an 18-year-old in high school. Not many people get to do that.
Right.
Not many people have the privilege and the honor to work for the largest state agency government in the state of Oklahoma. The
Yeah.
education department's the largest one in the state. Largest budget, most employed staff-wise. And so when I had the honor to work for him and work under him as a communications assistant, a lot of people hated that. Why would you hire an 18-year-old? Why would you do this? Why would you do that? Because communications is something that I'm good at, and it's something that I'm good at the graphics. I'm good at posting on social media. So my job there was I posted on the state agency Facebook page, state agency Twitter account, and so that's what when they asked me that if I wanted to come on for an internship, basically what it was for the summer of my senior year. I was like, absolutely, but there's one thing that I want to do. And most people don't know this. Most people think I just went up there to cause trouble. I told Dan Isett, who was a communications director at the time, I said, and Matt Langston, who is Ryan's chief advisor, I said, when I come in, this is what I want to do. I want to start posting positive stuff about stuff that is happening across our state in education, because there's a lot of positive. And the state agency Facebook and Twitter account should be promoting that positivity. Ryan can say whatever he wants on his other X accounts, his Facebook accounts, but as a state agency, we need to be promoting the good that's happening. And then when people say stuff or schools do stuff that are bad, and it requires a state agency investigation, we can release that. We can release press releases. But when schools are doing something good, they get off the F list. A student, gets an insanely good scholarship. A teacher gets, Teacher of the Year. A school gets rewarded a grant for how good they're doing. We need to promote that as a state agency. And so most people think I just went up there to, learn and be indoctrinated. That's what a lot of them like to say, is I got indoctrinated by Ryan or groomed by Ryan, which isn't true. I had a lot of these beliefs long before I met Ryan. And so most people my age at 18 are drinking or smoking or partying. I wasn't doing any of that. So they can be mad all they want, but he didn't groom me. He didn't indoctrinate me. That's a common misconception that people like to post on there.
Yeah. So you also posted Happy Columbus Day, which was yesterday. Someone responds. This one's good. This one, I just saw it. Hold on one second. Oh, man, where did it go? Did it just get deleted right in front of my eyes? I think it did. Oh, so you just tweeted, hey, Happy Columbus Day. And Charlie Murphy, 11, tweets back. I can't say this word, but he says, you dumb B. He found the Caribbean, a place I figured you would hate based on the demographic. He never set foot in North America. He's not being woke. It's called reading a book, you idiot. If you can read that, that's a response to one of yours.
That is that's the comment. So actually, funny enough, when I last year when I worked for the State Department, we actually made a post similar kind of about Columbus Day.
Mm-hmm.
I made the graphic, I made the post, I came up with the wording. It actually went viral. People were so mad saying that it's Indigenous People Day. I don't care if you say it's Indigenous People Day. In fact, my dad is Indian. My dad's entire side is Indian. I have
Yeah.
nothing but respect for them. But it's Columbus Day, and we're not gonna, rewrite history to fit your narrative. It's Columbus Day. He was one of the people that founded North America, and so it's very important that we continue to teach
Sure.
that history. When I was growing up through middle school and upper elementary and all that, we learned about Columbus Day. We knew who Christopher Columbus was. We don't need to stop that just because people's feelings got hurt about it. You can promote and teach Columbus Day at the same time as teaching kids about Native Americans in Oklahoma. Like it's not a complicated subject, and so it's just you could have had Indigenous People Day on any other day. You chose to have it on Columbus Day to cause division, and that's what people in the government like to do. They like when us Americans are fighting.
Yeah.
That's how they make their money. That's how they live and breathe. And so when Americans are divided, they have talking points. And so you could have had Indigenous people on any other day, and I stand by that. I'm going to continue to celebrate Columbus Day for as long as I live.
I like it.
Teach my kids about Christopher Columbus too.
I like that. So here's another response to your Happy Columbus Day from Jim at JimSum86. He also discovered syphilis to the Europeans and Trump's great dismay.
Those people, the Trump derangement syndrome is real. It's real in America and across social media. The Trump derangement syndrome is real, and they always have to bring Trump into everything. So,
oh man, dude, this is outstanding. Oh man, some of these I don't know if I can read.
You can't
bro.
even say.
Yeah,
That's why I don't look at them.
So if you want to read and follow Lane on Twitter, it's at LaneBrown_3. That's LaneBrown_3. You can go through his Twitter and see all his tweets and then all of his replies that he does not read. Oh man, the abortion one, bro. That one. Whew. Okay, that one's pretty good. I mean, that one's intense. I'll leave it to listeners and viewers to go and scroll your stuff.
Yeah.
But let's get to a little bit of Q&A, because that's what we came for. I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole, so I apologize.
It's easy to do when you're going through that and looking at all the stuff that people say, because people do come up with some clever stuff that is like, how do you think to say that to somebody?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, here's that one. The short straw guy, girl, whoever. How can we be sure of removing foreign influence from American politics without abandoning both the R and D parties at this point? You won't talk about this.
Right. So that guy has been asking about my position and opinion on Israel he found some tweets back in 2023 where I said that we need to stand with Israel when all the stuff was happening with Hamas. But back to his point of how do we stop, foreign influence in American politics? It starts with money. We have politicians getting thousands of dollars from foreign influential PACs.
Mm-hmm.
Foreign governments are giving our politicians money. That's been proven. The Israel PAC, I think it's called. Is it called APAC?
Yeah, I'm not familiar.
I think so. I think it's called APAC, and they give thousands of dollars to our U.S. congressmen, to our U.S. senators, and then now recently came out that Israel is also paying $7,000 per post to influencers to post good things about Israel. Look, what happened between Israel and Hamas was disgusting. Those Jews didn't deserve to get slaughtered at the concert. They didn't deserve to be taken hostage and taken away from their families. No one deserves that, no matter what. And I think peace is very important. I think Donald Trump brought peace to that.
Mm-hmm.
But to really answer that guy's question, you have to stop the foreign influence of money. Like
Yeah.
our politicians are influenced by money, by lobbyists, by PACs. That's what keeps them going. That's what pays their bills in Washington D.C. Living in Washington D.C. isn't cheap, and so when they're getting steak dinners from PACs and lobbyists, foreign influencers, that's where we have to start. We have to start looking at the money. You have to stop all foreign money going to American politics. You really can't just, you can't close your borders. You can't, stop talking to, other countries to stop that. It starts with money. I say anyone can be bought. You could give me $1 million and I would never change my opinion on anything. But uh, there's politicians in Washington, D.C. who are literally bought. Everyone knows that. And so, but when foreign countries are paying influencers like me, I would consider myself an influencer and other Gen Z people. But when they're paying $7,000 per post, we got a lot more problems than we think. So
Yeah.
I don't know your take on that, but that's kind of like I think where it starts is money, because money influences a lot.
Yeah. I mean, money does. It's a driver of good and evil. It's talked about in the Bible as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So, you, money can't buy happiness. Obviously, everyone knows that. Money can help, but what's your definition of happiness, and what's the definition of safety? Is it safety and family over money? Probably. Most people
Right.
would
Yeah,
say
absolutely.
so. I mean, but then to your point, there's quite a few people that would take the other route and sacrifice a lot for the financial windfall.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, and back to your point about money, I grew up in a middle class home. Like, we're not rich, and that's a common misconception on X. Also, there's a lot of people like say Lane has never bought anything a day in his life. The brand new car that I drove up in, my parents didn't buy that for me.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
I make the payments. I pay my own phone bill, pay my own insurance,
Yeah.
pay my own gas, pay my own food. My parents are graceful enough to let me still live in the house as a 19-year-old while I still figure out,
Yeah.
my course of life and,
Right.
and what I'm going to do in life. And so, but we were middle class growing up, a happy family. Like, we didn't need millions of dollars to be happy.
Yeah.
The trips that we took weren't vacations. They were, a trip down to the lake, a trip down to the campground, picnics or just family events. Like, so that's the common misconception that I love when people are like, he's just someone who came from rich and never worked for anything a day in his life, and his parents just pay for everything. That's false. Anyone that's in my inner circle can tell you the same thing. And so I want to declare the air on that, because I see that one all the time when I would go through the replies sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, you people have no idea. You have no idea.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, that's my dad's blue collar. My mom works in a podiatry office.
Okay.
And so, yeah, we're not anywhere close to, what I would consider rich, or, well, I would say we're rich in love and happiness, but
Yeah.
and money wise, nope.
Yeah. Yeah. So you use a lot of woke, like the woke mob and LGBTQ. And a tweet you had is, the woke mob would rather indoctrinate your children with LGBTQ ideology than educate them about our nation's founding, which includes teaching that America was built on Christian principles, not woke leftist propaganda. And I mean, that's a good tweet, right? And so someone says, this isn't even remotely true. You clearly haven't stepped foot in a classroom lately. So you were a high school student and a grade school student not too long ago, because you're 19.
Yeah, no, we graduated class of 2025. So that's obviously a lie.
Yeah.
I was just recently in a public school classroom. I most recently attended a public school. That's also the common misconception, is I didn't attend public school. Yeah, I did. I attended public school my entire life. And so my sophomore year of high school, we actually had a teacher who, between freshman and sophomore year, was a history teacher. He actually had LGBTQ stuff in his classroom.
Mm.
Proudly promoted that his uh, about the LGBTQ, would talk to kids about sex, would talk to kids about his sex life, would talk to kids about. He was allowed to spew whatever he wanted, but if you said anything about LGBTQ, he would reprimand you. He would get onto you, and so eventually, which was crazy is, I love my school so much, and I knew that all it took was one picture in his classroom, and I could, have our school reprimanded by the State Department of Education like that, like super easily. But I loved our school too much. I didn't want that. I saw the heat that it put on other schools.
Mm.
I knew what it would do to. I knew what it could do to our school, and I didn't want that. I still go to high school there. I don't want to be the reason why, Ryan Walters is coming down here. I love Ryan. What he
Yeah.
did was, his mission, his views, his goal for education. I loved it. I supported it 100%. But I didn't want, the heat on our school. I know
Yeah.
what the people do, and people on social media, when they find out that a teacher's doing that stuff in school, man, it's not good. They
Yeah.
will call the school, they'll email, they'll do literally anything. And so I could have easily had him, but he was fired my sophomore year. He was no longer there because he was telling kids that God wasn't real and you can't believe in God,
Mm.
and all this other stuff. So, like, this stuff is happening in our schools. There's just people like me who, like, I should have spoken up about it, and I
Sure.
wish I would have.
Yeah.
But I just didn't. I knew what would happen if I did. It got taken care of, and I reported it. Like, I reported it multiple times, but it got taken care of by school administration. And most schools don't do that. Most schools don't take action. They keep the teacher. They
Mhm.
let them continue doing what they're doing, and it's really because the school's afraid of the union, the teacher unions. And so when someone is paying dues to a teacher union, that teacher union has attorneys that are going to do everything they can to keep that teacher there.
Yeah.
And so, and the worst part about that is when they do leave a rural school district like the one that I went to, that was kind of out in the country. Those teachers that do those gross things move to your inner cities, which is Tulsa. In fact, one of the liberal teachers that we had that was in high school had parties with kids and everything, and she got fired. She left and went to Tulsa public schools and worked
got
there.
hired there?
Yeah, and got hired there. And so it's insane that that's the kind of stuff that we allow in our classroom. And yeah, it may not be happening in Oklahoma every single day,
Sure.
but it's happening. It is. It's been proven, but now we're never going to get to see that. We're never going to get to see, pictures of what are happening inside classrooms. Kids aren't even allowed to have their phones out in school anymore.
Right.
New law was passed. And so, which being in high school, I agree with it. Like,
Mhm.
I agree with the law. I like the law.
Yeah.
But when you have teachers doing bad stuff and saying egregious things, not being able to film, not being able to take pictures, not being able to document that, isn't good for transparency in the classrooms and for parents. And so I like the idea of the bill of no cell phones. I can tell you this right now: if they would have done it 4 years ago, I'd probably learned a lot more in high school. So, but people, yeah, that's just, there's stuff happening in our public schools, but
Okay.
it's been proven.
So based on your tweets represent something that has happened to you that you know of in real life, and so you
Absolutely.
tweet about it so that's defendable.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
what I am understanding what you're
Yep,
telling me.
absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
No, that
Perfect.
happened in a school in the high school that I went to. That teacher, in fact, what's crazy is my parents went to high school with that dude, and so we've had political talks before, me and him. We have different views. Liked him as a guy. Like, he was nice,
Sure.
respectful. Just said stuff you can't say as a teacher.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
he's no longer a teacher. But I would still talk to him. I'd still shake his hand, still give him a hug, still tell him that, how's it going? But nothing against him in that way. But
Right.
he just didn't need to be teaching.
Yeah. Well, you got a long life to live. I'm going to ask this question anyways, man. What are you most proud of so far at 19 years old?
Man, I think just most proud of is, my conviction in Christ, definitely. We hadn't got to touch on the subject yet. So about 16 years old when we started getting involved, I was going to Wednesday night church stuff with my friends, but never actually going to church on Sunday. We, as a family, used to go to church in Inola. Actually, we went every Sunday. I was baptized as a little kid, and so. But when my mom had breast cancer, my dad felt like the church wasn't doing enough for her, and felt like, in that way, and wasn't doing enough to help her fight her way out of breast cancer and everything. And so I think just a lot of built up anger. We just stopped going one day, and so my mom defeated cancer free, and so we just stopped going. And then about 16, a couple people invited me to go to Wednesday, night stuff. And I was like, yeah, I'll go. And then about 4 years ago, I started going to a church, and was dating this girl at the time. And so I was like, yeah, I'll go to church with you. I was like, yeah, it was a freshman year of high school. I was like, yeah, I'll go to church with you. And so that has been my church. We're no longer together, but that's my church, Forever Church. I am a member there. I was actually saved in 2024, gave my life to Christ, and then was baptized 2 weeks after that. And so that's my proudest accomplishment as a 19-year-old, is my conviction in Christ, my being able to just talk about it, not be afraid to talk about it, because right. When I was 16 years old, I should say I didn't start going, but I guess we were dating at the time of 16. Sorry, in 2016, my bad, is when I started going to Wednesday night stuff.
Gotcha.
I always mix that up. But no, I started going about when I was late 15.
Okay.
Early 16 is when I started going back to church, is when I was dating that girl.
Gotcha.
And so, but no, that's my proudest accomplishment. And so just getting back and not being afraid to talk about it to
Sure.
people. When people would ask me about it, I'd, avoid them, like, no, I don't want to talk about that, And so that's my proudest accomplishment as a 19-year-old right now.
Yeah. Are you and your parents on the same political spectrum or no?
Yes, but they're not politically involved. So that was funny. That's also another common misconception, is he just gets all of his political views from his parents. Absolutely not. My parents could give two craps about what's going on in the political world. Yeah, they voted for Donald Trump, but they don't vote in any other elections. They vote in presidential elections. And so educating them on the fact that, hey, these other elections are super important. When I went to my polling place today for our bond issue that we have, and only 3 people had voted and it had been noon, I texted them. I said, hey, you guys need to get up here and vote. Like, this is ridiculous. And so, but we're on the same political spectrum. My dad and I have different views in terms of, just, I'm probably more far right leaning than he is.
Sure. Yeah.
And then my mom kind of just goes along with what's going on in our family household. So, yeah, but we never talked politics growing up.
Sure.
Never, you have to be a Republican or you're not a part of this family. It was never like that.
Right.
In fact, my papa never talked politics, and so it's just, I grew up, I saw what was going on in the world, and I knew the right path, and I knew the path that I wanted to be on, and I knew the path that was good for my generation and my future kids and family, and so that's the path that I chose. But no, we're on the same political spectrum, but they had no influence, and they're not very politically active.
That's awesome. Number one, that you're educating your parents, especially on a non-presidential election cycle, because the governor's up for election next year, the attorney general, and the state rep or state senator in your respective area is all. So that's good, man. And county commissioner.
Yeah,
that's awesome, man.
Yeah, county commissioner's up then. There's only one guy that I know of that's running right now. We're getting our ducks in a row to launch.
Okay.
When my Facebook got taken down, it deterred everything. I was like, all right, I'm just going to wait and appeal, and then they're going to let me back on. No, that never happened. So I had to make a new one. So we're just getting our ducks back in a row. But, yeah, there's so much going on next year for sure.
Awesome, man. Well, I'm going to keep in touch with you. I got your cell number. So there's a few questions that we didn't get to I didn't get to ask because we're running out of time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm respectful of your time. So, Lane Brown, do you approve this podcast?
Absolutely, yeah. This podcast is awesome, so I approve it 100%.
All right. My name is Wong Lam, and I definitely approve this podcast.